They came to check your air filters.
It is the middle of the night and everything is completely silent. No cars, no voices, no movement anywhere nearby. Just a quiet residential street where nothing is supposed to happen at this hour. Then a doorbell camera turns on. At first, the footage looks normal. A dark front yard, faint street light, nothing moving. But the recording continues, and that is when something starts to appear. At the far edge of the frame, there is a shape lying low to the ground. It is barely visible at first, almost blending into the grass, and for a few seconds, it does not move at all. That stillness is what makes it unsettling, because it feels like something that should not be there is simply waiting. Then it shifts. Slowly at first, dragging forward in a way that immediately looks wrong. Not walking, not crawling in a normal way, but something in between. The body stays extremely low, twisting slightly as it moves across the yard. Every motion feels deliberate, like it is trying not to be seen or not to be fully upright. The camera struggles to define the figure clearly, but the movement is impossible to misinterpret. A person is crawling through the front yard of a house in the middle of the night. There is no urgency, no running, just steady forward motion toward the home. As it gets closer, it stops again for a moment, completely still in the middle of the lawn, facing the house. The camera holds on it in silence. No sound is recorded, no lights turn on inside, nothing reacts. It is just a motionless figure outside a front door in total darkness. Then it starts moving again, slightly faster now, still low to the ground, continuing toward the side of the house and disappearing out of frame. No door is touched, no window is broken, no clear action ever happens. Just an unexplained presence moving through private space and vanishing without explanation. When the footage later spreads online, people try to explain it in different ways. Some say it could be someone intoxicated. Others suggest mental illness or an attempted break-in gone wrong, but nothing is ever confirmed. It starts with something completely ordinary. A quiet suburban neighborhood, early morning, nothing unusual happening outside the homes. Then a jogger runs past one of the houses and notices something strange. There is smoke coming from the side of the property. At first it looks small, like something that might just go out on its own, but within seconds it becomes clear this is not normal. The jogger stops immediately and moves toward the front door, trying to get someone's attention through the Ring doorbell camera. No one answers. The house is empty. The smoke is getting thicker. Instead of leaving, he stays. He keeps pressing the doorbell, trying to alert anyone who might see the notification inside the house or on their phone. Eventually, the homeowner responds remotely through the camera. She has no idea what is happening yet, only that someone is urgently telling her there is a fire at her home. The jogger explains the situation as she begins hearing alarms going off inside the house through the audio feed. Panic sets in instantly. She gives him access information, trusting a complete stranger because there is no time to hesitate. What happens next is something no one expects. The jogger enters the house directly through the front door, while smoke is already spreading through the interior. Inside, he moves quickly from room to room, locating pets trapped inside. One by one, he carries them out. A dog, then another, then a rabbit, then a cat. Each trip is fast, careful, and repeated without hesitation while the fire continues to build inside. The doorbell camera captures every return to the doorway as he runs in and out of the burning house. No protective gear, no time to think, just instinct. Minutes later, Emergency services arrive on scene. But by then, the rescue is already complete. The pets are safe, and the fire is contained before it reaches the main living areas. Fire officials later confirm that if the response had been even 10 minutes slower, the entire structure would have been lost. What makes this moment stand out is not just the fire, but the decision made in seconds by someone who had no obligation to stay. A jogger passing by who becomes the only reason a family does not lose everything. It is just before midnight when a doorbell notification appears on a family's phone. Outside their home, a man is standing completely still on the porch. He is dressed in dark clothing, but what immediately stands out is his face. He is wearing a full white knitted mask that completely hides his identity. In his hand, he is holding a handgun. He rings the doorbell once, then he waits. There is no shouting, no attempt to break in immediately, just silence as he stands there looking directly at the camera. Inside the house, the family does not move toward the door. They are watching the live feed in real time, realizing something is very wrong. The man does not leave. He simply stands there as if waiting for a response that never comes. After a short moment, he turns and walks away from the front door, disappearing out of frame. But the situation does not end there. Police later confirmed that this same individual had already visited another nearby home moments earlier. At that location, the resident actually opened the door. The second it happened, the person inside quickly shut it again and locked it after seeing the weapon. That quick reaction may have prevented a direct confrontation. Investigators later describe how the suspect moved through the neighborhood that night, approaching multiple houses in a short span of time. In every case, the pattern was the same: approach, ring, wait, observe, then leave. No clear demand was ever made on camera, which made the situation even more unsettling for residents reviewing the footage afterward. Law enforcement releases the video to the public in an attempt to identify the man, pointing out unique details like his footwear and the distinctive mask. Despite this, no confirmed identity is ever made. The case remains open. It starts in the middle of the day with something that feels completely normal. A man appears at an apartment door, claiming to be from maintenance. He is calm, professional, holding a clipboard and checking apartment numbers as if he is exactly where he is supposed to be. He rings the doorbell and waits. When the resident answers through the camera, the man explains that he is there to check air filters. At first, nothing feels wrong. It sounds like routine building maintenance, but the resident quickly responds that no such service was scheduled and no one inside is expecting him. The man thanks him politely and moves on to the next door across the hallway. For a moment, it seems like a misunderstanding, but seconds later, everything changes. The same individuals return, but now their behavior is completely different. One of them is no longer pretending. He is armed. They attempt to force entry into the apartment next door, kicking at the door repeatedly while another suspect joins him from the hallway. The situation escalates in seconds from a fake maintenance check to a violent break-in attempt. Inside, the resident reacts immediately, firing through the door to stop the intrusion. The attackers fire back into the hallway before retreating. The entire exchange is fast, chaotic, and over almost as quickly as it begins, leaving bullet impacts and damage across the front of the apartment units. Police arrive within minutes and secure the scene, collecting the doorbell footage as key evidence. The video is later released to help identify the suspects. One of them is quickly identified and arrested after being recognized from the recording, The second suspect disappears and is never caught. It begins with a woman running toward a house in the middle of the night. The doorbell camera catches her as she reaches the porch, out of breath and clearly terrified. She is pounding on the door, shouting for help, asking to be let inside. Her voice is urgent, panicked, and she keeps looking back over her shoulder as if something is chasing her. Inside the house, there is confusion. The camera shows her pleading, saying she is not safe outside. Then behind her, a man appears in frame. He is walking fast, closing the distance in seconds. The moment he reaches her, everything escalates instantly. He grabs her and forces her away from the door. She tries to hold on to the frame, screaming for help, but he pulls her back with force. The struggle is brief but violent. She is dragged off the porch and pulled down the walkway, disappearing from view as she is forced away from the house. The doorbell camera continues recording the empty porch, capturing only her screams fading into the distance. The homeowner immediately calls emergency services after seeing the footage, and police are dispatched to the area. Within a E&D or short time, authorities locate both individuals. Investigators later confirm that the victim and the suspect knew each other, meaning this was not a random encounter, but a targeted incident that unfolded directly in front of a residential home. The suspect is arrested and charged with kidnapping and assault. The victim is taken to safety and receives medical attention for her injuries. What makes this moment so disturbing is how quickly it unfolds. There is no warning before she reaches the door, no time for anyone inside to fully understand what is happening before violence erupts directly on the porch. It is late at night when a couple arrives home after being out. Everything feels normal as they walk up to their front door, but the doorbell camera immediately captures something wrong. Two men are already outside, waiting. They are armed. The moment the couple steps onto the porch, the situation explodes into violence. One of the attackers forces a gun toward the man's head, while the other grabs the woman and throws her to the ground. There is no warning, no negotiation, just immediate control through force. The couple tries to resist, but they are quickly overpowered and beaten as the attackers demand entry into the house. Inside, family members hear the commotion, and the door opens briefly during the chaos. That moment allows one of the intruders to push inside, while the other keeps the couple pinned outside. The entire incident is captured in fragments by the doorbell camera, showing only pieces of the struggle as it spills across the porch. After a short but violent confrontation, the attackers flee the scene with valuables taken from inside the home. The victims are left injured and shaken, and emergency services arrive shortly after. Police later use the footage to identify and track down the suspects. Both are eventually arrested and charged with armed home invasion and aggravated assault. What makes this case stand out is how quickly a normal arrival home turns into a life-threatening situation. There is no time to prepare, no chance to react in a controlled way. One second they are unlocking their door, and the next they are on the ground facing armed attackers in their own driveway. It is late at night when a doorbell camera picks up motion outside a quiet home. At first, nothing seems unusual, just darkness, a silent street, and the faint glow of the porch light. Then a man appears in frame. He is wearing dark clothing, hood pulled up, moving quickly toward the front door. Without hesitation, he begins kicking at it repeatedly, trying to force his way inside. The impacts are loud enough to trigger alerts inside the home, and within seconds, the the homeowner receives the live notification on their phone. Inside, she watches in real time as the door shakes under the force of each kick. Then the attacker changes approach. He moves to a side window and smashes it, breaking through the glass to create an entry point. The sound of shattering glass echoes through the recording, followed by the man forcing his arm inside to unlock the window. Inside the house, panic sets in immediately. The homeowner calls emergency services while shouting warnings to anyone inside. The attacker manages to enter the home, and what follows is a brief but violent struggle that is partially captured by the doorbell camera as it continues recording the exterior. Screams are heard, objects are knocked over, and then the attacker exits the frame through the broken entry point. Police arrive shortly after the alert is sent and begin searching the area. The victim is found inside the home with severe injuries and is rushed to hospital for emergency treatment. Investigators later confirmed that the attacker was a stranger and had no known connection to the victim. He is arrested after a short investigation using evidence from the doorbell footage and nearby surveillance cameras. What makes this final case so disturbing is how fast everything escalates. There is no buildup, no warning, and no opportunity to prepare. A quiet night becomes violent in seconds, and the camera captures the exact moment a home stops being a safe place.